All right, today I'm going to show you how to make a traditional Southern summertime supper. We're starting out with smothered chicken, and you never have to break out the frying pan because it's done in the oven and it makes its own delicious gravy. And then we're having summertime succotash, just like my mama made it, with vegetables right out of the garden. And on top of that, some fried cornbread. Stick around. Starting out with the veggie prep. There's a lot of vegetables going on in these dishes. So I'm starting with the corn, and I'm going to remove the kernels from the cob. Make sure you've cleaned off all of those silks and just cut right down the side. I'm also going to be what we refer to as milking the corn. You'll see when I finish slicing all those kernels off, I'll take the back side of the knife, I'll scrape it down the side of the cob, and that milks it. That gets all of those juices out and into the bowl so that we can use this in the succotash. We had speckled butter beans out of the garden. It takes them a while to cook, so I'm pre-cooking these. I've added 4 strips of hog jowls to the pot, and I'll boil those butter beans until they're tender. Here I'm just slicing up about 10 pods of okra. This is really young and tender okra, straight from the garden. I need red peppers, green peppers, and onions for the smothered chicken. I'll reserve a little of the onion and the red pepper for the succotash as well. It wouldn't be succotash without tomatoes, so I'll dice 2 of these up. So I'm just going in with my standard protocol of seasoning almost everything I do. This is soul food seasoning. If you don't have soul food seasoning, use your favorite seasoning, whatever kind is fine. This has a mixture of paprika, pepper, salt, garlic, onion powder. It is high in salt, so I have Himalayan salt here. I'm going to take it easy on it. Not too much, because that soul seasoning has sodium. Now I'm going in with a little extra black pepper and garlic powder. Now I'm just going to flip these over. If you're not seasoning in layers, you should, because it makes your food taste better. So we've seasoned both sides. Now I'm going to cover these with onions that I cut up earlier. And then I have a half of a green pepper and half of a red pepper. I'm just kind of spreading that around just like this. Okay, for the gravy, we're going in with 1 1/2 cups of chicken broth, 3 tablespoons of self-rising flour. The flour is just going to help this gravy to thicken up a little bit as it cooks. Let's go ahead and whisk this to get as many of those lumps out as possible. I'm going to be adding poultry seasoning. That should be about a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. Just poultry seasoning. Your favorite brand. And now we're going to come in with 1 can of cream of mushroom soup and 1 can of cream of chicken soup. Both of these are reduced sodium. I want to be able to control the salt in this because I put quite a bit of seasoning on the chicken. This chicken's going to cook in the oven pretty low and slow. We're going to put it on about 325, and it's going to cook a little while. We want it to get really tender. I'm just going to give this a whisk. You can add any seasoning that you want. If you don't like poultry seasoning, you don't have to add it. Okay, we've got our baking pan here. The chicken is on the bottom. It's been seasoned well. The onions and the peppers haven't been seasoned, so I like to season in layers. I'm not adding salt, but I am adding garlic powder, a little black pepper, and a little soul seasoning, not too much. Then I'm going to take this gravy mixture and pour right over the top. Cover this with foil, put it in a 325-degree oven. Check it after about 30 minutes, see how it's looking. You might need to crank it up to about 350. We'll cook it about halfway, covered with foil. Then we'll take it out, remove the foil, and cook it a little while longer until the chicken is fall apart tender. All right, to this skillet, I've added a couple of tablespoons of olive oil and a half a stick of butter, the onions. Everybody has their own succotash recipe. This was so common for my mama to make in the middle of the summer because all the vegetables were coming out of the garden. A delicious side dish. But you can also add meat to this if you want, like smoked sausage. You can get creative, but this is the way my mama taught me. Now, I've got this on medium-high heat. We're going to saute this. I'm going to add in some onion powder, some garlic powder. We're seasoning in layers here. I've got soul seasoning, a little bit more pepper for me. Leave it off if you don't like it. We're going to let this hang out until the onions become translucent and these peppers are tender. These onions are getting tender. So are the peppers. And with the oil and the butter, if you wanted to change that out for bacon drippings or hog jowl drippings or fatback drippings, go for it. It's up to you. This is just how my mama did it. Sometimes she would use fatback. She cooked with fatback a lot. But this is the way I'm doing it today. Now these are ready. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the okra and the corn. And I love corn, so I'm going a little heavy on the corn today. We have 6 ears that I cut the corn off of the ears, and then I creamed it, and adding that to this pan. Give it a good stir. All right, we're just giving that a stir, and I want to season this. So again, same seasonings. I'm not going overboard with the soul food seasoning here because this is high in sodium. And, a lot of people like a lot of salt. I love salty things, but I don't like it overly salted. Now, I will be heavy on the pepper. If you don't like that, don't put it in there. All right, so this is just going to hang out for a little while on medium heat. Somewhere between medium-high and medium heat is where it's going to hang out. I'm going to pop the lid on it so that okra gets done. It won't take long for the corn to cook, but that okra is going to need a little bit. So we're just going to make sure it gets all the heat that it needs to become tender. You can see how beautiful the colors are already. Now the butter beans are done. It does have some liquid in it, but that's okay. Adding them in there. I love the speckled butter beans. You don't have to use speckled butter beans. They just have a better flavor to me than regular butter beans, but it's what you have. This is what we had access to in our garden, so this is what we're using. Let it hang out for a little while on medium heat. All right, the okra is getting tender, so I'm going to go ahead and add in the tomatoes. I add them in last because it really doesn't take them long to cook. And I'm just going to pop the lid back on and let it keep rolling. Again, we're on medium heat with the lid on. You can see just how beautiful this is. The tomatoes have started to tenderize and break down. The okra is done. You can see the bits and pieces of the hog jowl in there. They've just broken up. I'm going to let this cook with the lid off for just a few minutes until some of that liquid is evaporated, but not all of it, because it does need to be creamy. Mama's was always creamy. Some people make theirs, it's not creamy, more dense, or it might be a little more soupy. My mama made creamy succotash, and that cream is coming primarily from the corn, where we cream the corn, and the extra liquid that was left in with the butter beans. I'm using a neutral oil. This is canola oil. All right, in this I have chopped onion that I've cooked in the microwave for 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm going to add 1 cup of self-rising cornmeal and 3 tablespoons of melted butter. And then I'm adding buttermilk, and I'm not measuring. I'm just going to add a little bit at the time. I want to be able to drop this cornbread in the frying pan and it fry in almost like a pancake batter. That's what I'm looking for. That's the consistency we're looking for. Now I'm going to take you over to the oil that's been heating, and I'm just going to see if it's ready, and it is. So just that much at the time, drop it in. And I'm going to turn this down to medium. One of the key success factors with cooking fried cornbread is to be patient, because if you flip this too soon, it's going to fall apart. So you want to wait until it's really bubbly on this and you can kind of see the edges starting to brown up, and then you'll know it is firm enough to flip. All right, you see how it's starting to brown around the edges? I'm going to try to flip this over. That's perfect. And there you have it, tender smothered chicken with its own creamy gravy. We'll serve over rice, delicious succotash, and fried cornbread.